Hello, everybody. This is Christopher Phillips, the founder of Socrates Cafe. We have over 500 regular Socrates cafes that gather around the globe. And it all started because of my Greek Yaya Calliope Kavazarakis Philippou, who was born and raised in the tiny island in Southeast Aegean of Nisyros. And I'm quite honored to be speaking today with the mayor of Nisyros, Christofis Koroneos.
Yes,
Thank you, my friend.
nice to meet you here in Nisyros.
Oh, it's such a joy. I feel a connection here that I feel nowhere else in the world.
I'm very glad, and you should come here more often.
I will. In fact, my big plan, even if just two people come, is to come twice a year and to have Socrates cafes in the plaza. And I think it will be a nice sort of cultural addition to everything that you are wonderfully trying to achieve in Nisyros. Now, today is our name day. The Greek Orthodox Church is St. Christopher.
Christophoros.
That's
Yes.
right. So we have that in common too. Plus, you and I are related. Your mom was a Katsamatidis,
Yes.
and Abdullah Katsamatidis, the actor, is a dear friend and also my
Okay.
second cousin.
She's my first cousin.
Oh, this is cool. This is very cool.
Anthula's father and my mother were his brother and sister.
Unbelievable. I didn't know that until we met
Yes,
the other
yes,
day.
yes.
Um, so you were and are actually a standout scientist, engineer, scholar. You're still listed as one of the standout scholars.
Yes.
In addition, you were a longtime professor at Columbia University, where our mutual friend Jeffrey
Yes,
Sachs
yes.
is, and now Cornell West is at the Union Theological Seminary there.
Yes, you told me about this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have these connections, and I'm wondering, what is, if you could tell a little bit of your story about what prompted you to return, distinguished professor, stellar career as a scholar and scientist, engineer, chemical engineer in sustainable energy, and those. What prompted you to come back to Nisyros and also want to be mayor?
Well, first of all, let me tell you how I left from here. When I was a small boy, I had an uncle, actually Katsimatidis. This is my grandfather's brother who went to New York, and he went to Columbia. He got his master's from Columbia. He got his master's in philosophy. So when he was coming here to Nisyros, he always tell me when I was a small boy, when you grow up, you must go to Columbia. So I listened to it many times, many summers.
So he had his master's in philosophy.
Yes.
So we have that in common. Oh my gosh.
So when I grew up and I finished high school, I went to Columbia. So it was my
You got your master's
from Columbia. Columbia is my second home, actually. I got my bachelor's, my master's, and my PhD.
Wow.
From Columbia, then I taught at Columbia. And then I came back to Greece and I came to Thessaloniki. I was at the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. And I taught also at the University of Western Macedonia, where I had the renewable energy seat there, renewable energy and environmental protection management. And then I came to Athens and I went to the Polytechnic University, where I was at the graduate school of development and sustainable development and the environment. And from there I came to Nisyros. My idea has always been to come back to Nisyros because this is the place where I grew up. I was born, and I always felt very close to Nisyros. My mind was always here, all these years. So I had the opportunity to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I won the election in 2014. It is not very easy to win elections in Greece, especially. It's very political politicized society, so you've got to work hard.
How many times have you won?
3 times.
3 times. So you won. What?
2014, 2019, and 2023.
I was here for that election. Antola came here with her husband.
Yeah. And
very difficult.
Very difficult, and so, it's also very difficult, the duties of a mayor, because there's so many responsibilities. The municipality is small, it's only 1,000 people, but I must deal with everything. The daily things that you have to be done, I have my phone, a second.
You can go grab it.
No.
It's okay.
Just a second. Yeah.
See, he's the mayor, he's busy. It's okay.
So we can start again. Plus, besides the daily things, we have to do the planning for all the projects. It's a lot of things. That's why it's 7 o'clock and I'm still in the office. And I'm here, I came in the morning at 7:30. So it is a 12-hour day. And then when I go home, I have to work also on the computer sometimes the weekend I try to work for my academically for different things, but during the day it's very difficult.
What can we go back a little bit? Tell me about what interested you before a lot of people were, before it was more of a popular thing in renewable energy.
I got involved with renewable energy since I was in the US, but mostly when I came back to Greece, I got involved with renewable energy and environmental management. I have been very much involved with the life cycle assessment. It is a tool for environmental management. And at the University of Thessaloniki, I got involved with renewable energy systems. We published a lot. I have about 330 publications. So it is...
How many?
330.
I thought I was an overachiever. That's extraordinary.
It is, in journals, in papers, in conferences, so it is all together. And now I'm trying to work, but I have so much things to do at the office here that is very difficult.
But you still do writing. I remember reading a feature in Tovima that you're still among the hundreds of thousands of scientists. You're still listed in the very top.
I'm the top 2% of the scientists.
Do you sleep?
The Stanford list.
Yes, that's very prestigious.
My publications have a big impact. I have its age factor, and now it is around 45.
Wow.
So it is, I'm trying my best. But now I spend more time with the municipality.
Yes, but does it in any way, it connects, because you have an annual conference now that our mutual friend Jeffrey Sachs, who's one of the greatest sustainable development experts, started with the UN as well as with Colombia, who came and spoke at it.
In Nisyros, we started, I had the conference here since 2006, we started the first conference. This was mainly on renewable energy and life cycle assessment and exergy, which is the second law of thermodynamics. This is the area which I'm very interested in. And now we have the conference, we try to do it every year, which has titled Sustainable Solutions at Times of Transition.
This is can we both agree this is a time of transition?
Yes, it has been for the past few years.
But
now it is more, it is economic transition, I believe, and technological transition. We're getting into AI. And
these are philosophical issues
and
too.
a new world opens to the society.
How do we maintain our autonomy in a world of AI? Does it always help us become more humane, or can it move us in directions that are less humane? There's a lot of unknowns right now.
Well, with every technology, humanity can go either direction. Depends on how you use it. The simplest thing, television, when it became popular, it can be used for good things or bad things. Same with computers, with internet. So it depends on how you use technology, and technology is not neutral, by the way. It depends on the user.
With your conference, it comes in again in mid-September, I believe.
Yes.
What do you have a certain theme?
This year the theme is resilient communities and sustainable islands. So we'll be dealing with this issue.
Who is coming?
It is still early, but we have people coming from Europe, from different universities from Europe, from Turkey, from the US. Last year we had some people from Morocco, Lebanon, South America.
So you don't need to go anywhere now. You're bringing the world here.
Well, you need to go because you got get outside. I'm involved with some conferences, so I do go.
Yes, you also go to the U.S. You spoke at the Nisyros Society a few years ago.
Yeah, I was involved with the Nisyros Society. I was president of Olomagoras for 3 terms, 6 years.
I didn't know that.
And I was also president of the Federation of Dodecanesian Societies. And we did quite a few things. As a matter of fact, when I was president of the Federation, we organized the yearly celebration of the independence of Dodecanese, which is the 7th of March. We organized it at the City Hall of New York, which was, I think, a big thing we achieved. So
it's extraordinary.
Every year, the City Hall, when I was president, had a meeting, and they declared the 7th of March as the Day of Dodecanesians of New York.
Incredible.
And it was a period we did a lot of things.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, many people have left from the US. Other people have died. So things are very slow now.
But what is your vision for Nisyros in the next 5 years, 10 years, looking down the road?
My vision has been to establish an island which can maintain its population, which is very important, which is 1,000 people, that we have all the necessary material to sustain this population, and also the means. For example, we must have running water, sewage treatment plants. This is my vision. And Nisyros must remain an island that does not become touristic. It's very important.
That's tricky.
Because over-tourism is a bad thing.
I've seen how other islands have changed dramatically. You know, it's one thing to have a tourist season.
Yes.
But it's another thing when it sort of gets a little bit out of control.
Or you can look at Kos. It's not very far. It's next to us.
Took the words out of my mouth.
It has completely changed. It is a touristic island, but it has lost its feel that had for the old Kos I knew. It's not the same anymore.
I've heard some of the people talk about how they would like, you know, to feel people who were here in the been here 50, 60, 70 years or more, that they would like to feel greater community, have more get-togethers here in Nisyros as well. Anything I can ever do to be sort of a fulcrum to that, just let me know. But I think there's so much potential here, and yet there's a natural proclivity among people here to want to get together.
Yes, there is. As a matter of fact, every summer there's many Syrians that come here from the US, from Athens, from Rhodes, many of them, from Canada, from Australia. So we have people coming here in the summer, and it's a kind of community thing, especially 15th of August, which is the day of celebration of Saint Mary, which is a local, a big event in the island. There's about 5,000 or 6,000 people coming to the island during that day. It's very crowded.
Right.
But it is, these days are the days that all the Nisyros are here.
You know, when I come here, it's a culture shock in the best sense to leave places where there's rampant crime, runaway development, environmental toxicity. Then you come to Nisyros, and it's hard to even believe that a world like this exists if you don't have the opportunity or privilege to visit a place like this.
Yeah, but you must try to keep it this way. That's why it exists. If you let it go, it will change.
There must be forces that want to become a kind
of
code.
Laws. You're not allowed to build a house any way you want. You must have specific rules that you have to follow. You cannot build, let's say, a house which is very tall. I mean, it has to be only 2 floors. These are rules that keep the island and the community the way it is.
Are there architectural restrictions?
Yes, a lot.
Because again, for instance, I go to New England, and they're losing that sense of aesthetic as it expands. It's called sprawl, and it becomes like any place, and you don't want that.
But in New England, I went to in Boston, for example.
In the
still
centers,
areas that are beautiful. Yeah, they kept the New England culture.
Yes.
So it is.
That's where I began my newspaper reporting career,
really?
in a New England town of about 3,000. But there's always interests, forces that would like it to become like any place. But then it's not what that makes people want to live there, to raise their families. And to me, of all the Dodekanes, Nisyros is the jewel, the crown jewel, because you can see that it's not unchanging, but that when the efforts to grow it are in ways that maintain that aesthetic and the sensibility of a strong community. And it even seems to me that your annual conference is another way to bridge the local and the global in ways that hopefully don't just preserve it, but evolve it in the best sense of the term.
Well, I believe that every island has its own uniqueness and its beauty. In Nisyros we have the volcano, which is
incredible.
The trademark of the island, I would say. And this brings a lot of people here. And also we try to bring in people that will help the community. For example, on Monday, here we have the Action Aid. It is a non-profit organization that will bring in about 25 doctors. There will be many artists. There's about 200 people coming here to do things on the island. And we have also organizations come with doctors to examine people. We have other conferences that come that are done here. As a matter of fact, there is a conference in June which is organized by another fellow Syrian from New York, from New School.
Oh, really?
And he comes every year. He brings in about 20 people from New York, and they have a conference. So it is. It is not an isolated island, but you come in contact with many people.
And what's that going to be about exactly?
Oh, the conference he has is what is called radical economics. I remember.
Wonderful.
I forget it's radical something.
Wonderful. Well, you've had a long day. And I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me.
I'm very happy to talk with you. And
I was even more thrilled when I realized we're relatives that we have, and that this today. I'm glad we didn't do it the other day because this is our name day with the church. But I hope I can be sort of a goodwill ambassador moving forward for Nisyros. The places I go in Florida, there's a lot of actually a number of Nisyrians.
Actually, in the U.S., there's many Nisyrians. The Nisyrians were there at the end of the 19th century, the beginning of the. As I told you last time, the first society was formed in 1903.
Incredible.
And it was established in the court in 1904. And then in 1906, another society, 1915, 1909, two societies. So the Syrians have been in New York for many, many, many years.
Did your family come directly to New York?
No, my family, my mother's father was in the U.S. And then he came back. My grandmother's father was in the U.S. He died there. And my father's all brothers and sisters are in New York. They were, most of them are dead now. And my mother's brother and sister were in New York. So the only members of my family that, from my mother and father that remained here is my mother and my father.
Okay.
Everybody else went to New York.
My grandfather's brother George settled in New York, and the rest. My father was born in Hopewell, Virginia, and they eventually settled in Florida. There was an Assyrian Society of Florida. My yaya was in the Daughters of Penelope.
Okay.
And, yeah,
but there's still one today. Because there are many Syrians in Florida. These are the ones that were in New York, and they moved to Florida once they got older.
I'm going to connect with them.
Yeah, there's a society there.
Maybe we can do a few things, maybe even via Zoom or something.
That would be good. Yeah, I'm interested.
Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I look forward to having a stronger connection with you.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thanks. This is Chris Phillips, Socrates Cafe, and this is Mayor Koroneos, and to be continued.